Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the WCIParts.com Truck Series race number 5 from Talladega, Alabama. 66 laps on the scoring pylon set for us to do tonight here at Alabama's Super Speedway alongside Sean Yoder. I am Ben Kilcrease, Aaron Grosskopf. Getting the picture that you see to you tonight, and here we go, Sean, set to go racing at one of the wild cards on the schedule. Anything can happen here. Anything's possible at the Great Talladega Super Speedway.
Right around the corner from my house, right down the street. Weather's good down here right now. Weather's good out on the track. Here at iRacing in the Sim500 Racing League, I'm actually watching Chad Cole running around right now, and everybody just wide open throttle. Can't wait to see what we have going on tonight. We're going to have a pack of, how many cars are in this one tonight? 30, what was it?
Around 35.
I'm sorry, trucks, 35 trucks.
Yeah.
I'll get that right eventually. If I stay here for about 3, maybe 4, 5 or 6 years, 8 or 9
years,
I'll actually start calling them trucks.
There you go. Well, nonetheless, trucks qualifying here at Talladega Super Speedway, as we're currently watching qualifying here, and it's real fun to watch everybody jump up the leaderboard and see who's going to grab the pole here at Alabama's Super Speedway. As usual here in the WCIParts.com Truck Series, we'll talk to the pole sitter right after qualifying, so everybody trying to get that interview early in this race. Now, championship standings heading in to tonight has Chad Cole atop the leaderboard. Jason Jacoby sits second, 2 points behind him. Nick Silver is 11 out of the lead. He's third. David Comstock, 21 out of the lead. Chad Coleman, 25. Then it's Kevin Brown, Justin Fuller, Steve Ritter, Trey Edson, and David Emig rounding out the top 10. We always like to talk about points, Sean, even though we are only on race number 5. However, this is a 28-race season, so not as long as some of the other seasons here in Sim500 competitions. So points are pretty crucial in every race. And boy, here at Talladega, this could almost make or break your season depending on your finish.
Absolutely. We're watching Sean Boundy put it on pole provisionally. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. Provisionally with a 54.699. Matthew Walzenbach sitting in that second place position. Actually, as soon as I say that, Tommy Ryan knocks Sean Boundy and Matthew Is it Welzenbach? I think it's Welzenbach.
Yeah, Welzenbach. Yep.
Tommy Ryan basically just said, nope, I'm going to be P1 for the time being. Just laid down a 54.674. Sean Boundy sitting in that second spot now with that 699, and Welzenbach with 702 sitting in third. That rounds out your podium there in qualifying, and we're about ready to go racing here at Talladega. It's going to be an interesting one, as it always is in the Sim500 League. Going to be a good night. Can't wait to get down to it. What do you got to say for yourself there, Mr. Kilcrease?
I'm looking forward to it. Talladega is always a fun one, and we're getting ready to get down and dirty with it here and throw the green out and go racing for 66 laps around the Super Speedway here in East Abuga, Alabama, just up the road from Talladega, Alabama. A lot of people don't know that. Nonetheless, though, let's run you through tonight's starting lineup. Tommy Ryan inside of the front row. He'll lead us to the green flag alongside Sean Boundy at the 34.
Yep, that's Matthew Welzenbach sitting in third. Randy Yoakum is sitting in the fourth spot.
E.J. O'Rourke going to start fifth tonight, and the number 41 outside of him will be Bobby Wenzel in that number 9.
Chad Cole starting 7th, and Justin Fuller starting in 8th position.
Glenn Campbell rolls off 9th in the 44. Steve Ritter going to roll off 10th there, and the rest of the field set to scroll across the bottom of your screen as we try and dial up Tommy Ryan, although it looks to be he may not be available for us here tonight, which is a little disappointing as we get set to go racing here at Talladega Super Speedway. So Ryan's not here. We go to the second place driver, and that driver had to pole for all but the final 10 or so seconds of qualifying. Sean Boundy, we like to call him the Super Speedway King here in Sim500. Here we go, Sean, rolling off outside of row number 1 here. About the best starting position you can get, just one shy of the best. Actually, how you feeling about tonight here at Talladega?
That's a good question. I got no practice in. I'm not really sure how the truck's been. I've been off the track for a few weeks. But it was a good start, good return. I'm looking forward to a good race. Last big time I came to a plate track, we got half the field caught up in a big pile up halfway through lap one. I'm kind of looking forward to finishing out this race. I don't care where I finish. It'd just be nice to finish one of these plate tracks.
Certainly would. I know you're going to make it exciting for us, so we'll let you get to work down there, and hopefully we'll talk to you a little bit later tonight on the podium.
Absolutely. I'm not shying away from getting in there and racing tonight, so hopefully put on a good show.
Sounds good. Best of luck to you, Sean.
Thank you.
There you have it, Sean Bounty rolling off outside of row number one, and Sean Yoder up here in the booth with me. It always makes me a little jealous. These guys coming out. I've been off the sim for a couple of weeks, not really had a lot of seat time, and to come and put it on the front or second row, and it really makes me jealous because I can practice all week long and still not do that.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like the time away is hurting him all that well, does it? It's I have literally been in a boot with a partially detached Achilles for about 2 months now. So I'm looking forward to getting back behind the wheel just to watch the rust fall off. And I'm sure even after it all falls off, I'm not going to be able to catch Sean Bounty. It's just not going to happen. So, it's going to be interesting to watch him, saying that he hadn't been driving for a couple weeks. He's sitting in P2 and probably wants to put it to the front as quickly as he possibly can. We're about to go green here. It's going to get interesting really soon.
That it is. 66 laps of set distance here at Talladega Super Speedway. It's race number 5 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series here in Sim500 competition, and we have got a stout field of racers tonight. Winners heading into tonight, Paul Nicholas Cooper won at our Super Speedway race back in Daytona. It's been the David Comstock and Trey Edson show. Comstock wins race 2, Edson race 3, Comstock race 4, and if we're going in that same order, Edson should pick it up tonight. But we all know anything possible here at Talladega Super Speedway. We're expecting big packs and a lot of exciting moments here tonight in Alabama. They stack them up 2 by 2 by 2. It's Tommy Ryan, Sean Bounty. That's the front row for race 5 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series. We're racing at Talladega.
Lap 1 underway, following them down the track into turn 1. Things stay pretty much the same. Tommy Ryan taking them down, taking that whole field down into turn 1. Everybody's 2 by 2 right now. We've got one truck all the way up against the wall. Not really sure what's going on there. Looks like they're actually funneling back. Just going to settle in towards the back of the pack. Watch everybody do what they're doing. Big snake going.
Oh, and there's crashing already. Tommy Ryan into the inside wall. Matthew Welsenbach also involved, and other trucks pile in behind. No caution. We stay green, but already drama here on lap number 1 at Talladega.
Definitely too soon for that, guys. Too soon for that. We have the number 80 truck. I'm trying to figure out exactly who that is. The number 80 is Mark Creighton.
Yeah. And
he was involved in that. We had
that all started.
Obviously was involved in that.
Sorry to cut you off, Sean, but that all started middle of the back straightaways. You watch the replay there. Just a bump gone wrong. Sean Bounty kind of tagged Ryan the wrong way, and that turned him right across the nose of Welsenbach, and Steve Gottschalk, sort of an innocent bystander there, trying to get woed down, got turned himself. Creighton also trying to do some avoiding, gets it sideways. Wow. Big moments early on here at Talladega. Nonetheless, though, we stay green, and a swarming pack of 15, 18 trucks out in front of this field, and leading it would be E.J. O'Rourke. In the 41, he's being pushed by Chad Cole and Glenn Campbell. Top 3 kind of trying to break out on that inside line. They're being pushed by Joey Jattina, and you have to go back between Jattina and Bounty to find the first side-by-side battle as we work lap 3.
Gotta go ahead and give a shout out to the WCIparts.com there on that lead truck right now. AJ O'Rourke running the WCIparts.com livery on there, and paint job. That's my road racing side just spilling out. Don't hurt me for that. I apologize. I got a little snobby there for a second. I'll dial it back.
Not at all. A lot of people at Talladega would be trying to fry up your livery and eat it with some ketchup.
Hey, man, fried livery is good, dude. Little Tabasco on fried livery.
There
Wonderful.
you go. Nonetheless, though, Chad Cole pulls out. He'll try and challenge E.J. O'Rourke for the lead. He's got help from Sean Boundy in that top side. But if I'm Chad Cole, seeing that first lap, Sean, I'm a little weary having the 34 behind me. We've already seen he's upset one truck. Maybe that's just the rust falling off. He talked about not being in the truck for a couple of weeks, especially on a super speedway. And, I hate to point fingers or anything or call out anybody, but, at one point it is Boundy's fault. At another, he didn't know it was going to turn the 99 sideways and have a truck pulling off to the inside there. Looks like the 80 of Mark Creighton. Looks like he's going to call it an early night. But nonetheless, really can't point fingers at one specific driver there. Ryan may have moved a little bit when Sean hit him. It's all just a mix of, and they're sideways again.
It was the 67 truck of Jeff Ryan at the back of the field. Lost it. Took a couple trucks with him. We'll check in on that and see exactly what happened. Like you were saying, yellow's out. Sean Boundy now running in the third spot. We're going to go find that wreck and bring you up to date on what happened there. But Sean mentioned in the post-race interview that we did with him after he put it in P2 there that he's got some rust. He hadn't been in the truck for a couple weeks. These guys are running side by side. There's two long lines running around, and there's a lot of bouncing around, a lot of side drafting, a lot of buffeting. If you're Top Gear fans, James May, buffeting. And it's crazy early. We're only 5 laps in, and this is caution number 2. It's looking like I might win that over-under.
Well, technically, caution number 1, wreck number 2.
I apologize. That's very
for
true.
those keeping tab. That happened. Comstock got into the 86, turned him sideways down in to Trey Edson. Jeff Ryan, a victim of circumstance there. The 85 also involved. That's Kenny Lavinge. So, my goodness. A wild moment and 2 of our biggest favorites to win coming into tonight, Edson and Comstock, already got pretty substantial damage, and they're going to be sort of chasing that damage all race long, especially with it coming here early on lap number 5. What a way to start this race off. It has been drama after drama, and we sort of questioned the 15 of Fuller and his actions to go to the back there, his decision to go to the back. Well, Sean, I think we're finally maybe coming to grasp on why he did just that. He didn't feel comfortable up front, so he pulled right to the back and says, go ahead, guys, you can crash it out. I'm going to be here at the end.
Absolutely. I've looked over Comstock and Edson trucks, and both of them are, I wouldn't say considerably damaged, but they're definitely wrinkled. Did mention Fuller pulling out, dropping to the back. Justin Fuller is perfectly clean right now, so that may pay off big. We all know that this is an aero-dependent track. With Comstock and Edson running up front the last couple weeks, this is definitely going to hurt them. But they run nose to tail really well, and possibly putting those 2 trucks together nose to tail will negate the aero penalty that they're going to be playing here. We'll just have to sit back and see. Pit stops are underway. Yellow flag's still out. We'll be back racing here shortly at Talladega.
Some big words from my colleague in the booth up here. So
how big were they? What did I say that was a big word?
Negate.
That's a big word?
Yeah. To some of us, yeah.
Is that bigger than livery, or is livery going to get me in trouble more than negate?
If you use livery and negate in the same sentence, minds will be blown. We'll put it that way.
I'm not going to. I'm just going to let it ride.
Let's see if we can pull up and talk to the big cat, Chad Cole. Chad Cole, Ben Kilcrease in the booth. You got a copy?
We got you.
Here we go, Chad. It's lap 6, and you're already in the lead. Isn't it a little bit too early for you to be up this front of the field?
Yeah, right. Yeah, got a good qualifying effort in. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to qualify. I never know with these plate tracks where the big one's going to happen. Luckily, we decided to qualify, and we were ahead of it this time. So just pushing EJ out there early, and figured I'd get a chance to get some fresh air, lead some laps too. So that caution fell just right where we were able to get the lead there, and I think everyone except for Glenn and myself pitted there, so we'll see how that plays out. I think this is only about four laps on fuel difference there.
It's going to be interesting. Coming into tonight, you finished all 4 races, top 4. Here at Talladega, though, that's a little bit... anything can happen, as we've already seen in the first 2 laps, in the first 6 laps, 2 crashes, 1 caution. How do you feel about that stat continuing on after tonight?
As of 6 laps, I'm feeling pretty good, but it's plate racing and anything can happen. I'm not a big fan of plate racing. I don't have the greatest luck. I feel like I don't have the greatest strategy either. So I'm probably wrong here, staying out on these 4-lap tires, but we'll see how it plays out. Ask me at the end of the night.
There you go. I was going to say, you only got 60 more laps, so hang in there, and hopefully we'll chat with you a little bit later.
Yeah, so I think we're just gonna try to ride it out, and hopefully we can get a good time caution there. So Glenn and I don't have to pit together all by ourselves and end up losing the pack there. So stay tuned.
Here we go. That's all we can do. Wish you the best of luck in the rest of it, Chad.
Thank you.
There you have it. Chad Cole set to lead the field. Back to the green flag. Did he say Glenda? I think he said Glenda.
He may have, actually. I switched to Chad's camera right as he pulled out of the pits, and there for a second, Chad was not only leading the field, he was actually leading the pace car too. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Chad doesn't like to ride behind anybody, so that doesn't surprise me one bit. You put some flashing lights on that machine, and he would be in heaven. Nonetheless,
There's lights on that Mustang to let you know that it's getting ready to hit you. That way you can see it better when it's
there you
proud.
go. Chad Cole leads. Glenn Campbell sits second, or Glenda, as Chad Cole would say. The 2 longtime friends going to lead us back to the green flag, and now they're 3 wide. Looks like we're doing an ASC salute to the fans up front. Saving fuel, they get on the gas, clutch it as long as they can. Sometimes you run up beside the pace car, no harm, no foul. But nonetheless,
did you check out the pace car driver though? When they had him literally 3 wide, pace car in the middle, the pace car driver never flinched. It was amazing.
It's like he's on rails.
Yeah, it's like he didn't even know they were there.
Nonetheless, though, getting set to turn those lights off atop that iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car. And hopefully we'll get some racing going as we're 1/10 of the way through with tonight's events. Tonight's coverage is live on our Triple Threat streaming service here on the Sim Racing Network, streaming live to our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And we encourage you, no matter what platform you're tuned in on, to give us a follow, give the video a like, and be sure to turn on notifications so you can be notified whenever we are live here on the Sim Racing Network. Released some big news over the past weekend about the Snowball Showdown. For more information, you can head on over to our Facebook page, scroll back a few posts, and check out the Snowball Showdown info for this coming December. People say, well, it's only April. But boy, they just don't know that the Snowball Showdown is a year-round operation, and we're really putting a lot of work into it behind the scenes already. And boy, Sean, I hope you're around in December, because the Snowball Showdown is going to be a show that you won't want to miss.
Yeah, man, absolutely. The Snowball is something that we look forward to every year. I actually go to the race. Be able to be here and potentially be part of the broadcast team for that show. Definitely want to be a part of it. Don't care whether I'm in Florida, whether I'm up here. If I have to take my rig all the way down there with, I don't care. I'm going to be a part of that, because I love me some late model, and I love that track. Going to be epic. Actually, kind of want to broadcast and race in it. That's possible. Is that possible?
It could be. We have 5 divisions to choose from this year, with the street stocks, the modifieds, the trucks, pro late models, and super late models. So certainly a possibility. And
out on 5 flags and go.
there you go. They did that a couple of weeks ago with King of the Wings. So certainly possible. However, the race moved a weekend back, or a weekend further into the year. It's 1 weekend after the Snowball Derby in real life, to allow some of those real life drivers to hop on the sim and join us for the Snowball Showdown. $1,000 to win, $100 just to start the second annual. So here we go. Pace car lights still on, so we had to kill some time under that, under this caution. If I can get my words straight here at Talladega Super Speedway, we're hopefully going to turn the lights off this time by. Field's starting to double up and looking like we're going to do so. So, run you through the top 10. It's Chad Cole, Glenn Campbell, Sean Boundy, Dave Coburn up to 4th. Good run for the 78. Bobby Wetzel, Joey Jatina, Jimmy North, E.J. O'Rourke, Steve Ritter, Randy Yoakum. That rounds out the top 10. 27 trucks still on the lead lap. The last of those, Justin Fuller. The first one lap down will be Tommy Ryan, who was involved in the first crash on the back straightaway. Then David Comstock, Jay Graves Jr., these drivers multiple laps down. Jeff Ryan, Mark Creighton, Brian Wortman, and Jonathan Lockhart did not make the starting field. Nonetheless, though, lights are off and finally getting set to go back racing here at Talladega Super Speedway, Sean. And after these first handful of laps, if I'm a driver, I'm going to start taking it easy. Yeah, we may still pack race, but I'm not going to push and shove like I was in those first handful of laps because I want to make it to the finish. Hopefully these drivers realize the same, and we can start to log some laps here.
Yeah, there's nobody running this truck series that doesn't know how important the aerodynamics are on a super. Got to keep the truck clean if you there at the end. So I'm hoping we see these guys actually settle down, maybe pull everybody in line instead of trying to run that side-by-side two-line racing that we were seeing there for the first laps. It just gets ugly, man. Things get buffeting and trucks get bounced around, and when that happens, you can have your hand on the wheel. You can hold the prettiest wheel that you've ever seen in your entire life, and the air just moves you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm hoping they get clean, and we see this thing go green for a long, long time. Hopefully we get some green flag pit stops in, and we see some good racing here at Talladega. They're coming around turn 4 right now. We'll be green here in a second. I'll let you go call it, Ben. It's getting ready to go down, man.
Getting ready to go racing again here at Talladega. We kind of had a wild start to this thing, so I'm kind of just taking this one as the initial start, and maybe things will be a little bit more calm. By the way, if you're out there on the simulator and you want to see when the green flag waves or when the caution flies, when there's a move over flag issued to you, be sure to purchase an iRacing iFlag unit. You can find them at iRacingIFlag.com. Chad Cole, Glenn Campbell, front row, green flag back in the air, and a great restart for that front row, but from the second truck outside on back, a little bit of a stack up as they race down into turn number 1. That's going to hurt the outside's momentum as they race through 1 and 2.
We're looking at them in 1 and 2 right now. They're still too wide. They're still buffeting around. They're still moving up and down the track. Got to calm it down. We've got to get some green flag racing. Then we've Sean Boundy moving to the outside line, followed by Bobby Wetzel coming up behind Sean Cole. Can't see who that is, but the outside line, as soon as Sean Boundy went up there, the outside line took off like a rocket, man. Sean Boundy and Bobby Wetzel, both of those guys driving to the front. Boundy more so than Wetzel, though. Boundy is now in front of Chad Cole, leading this race in that green number 34 truck. Loving me some green business colors. Can they dig that?
A lot of people say green bad luck at a racetrack, but everywhere I've seen, green is pretty fast on any kind of speedway. Good race up front, though. Wetzel to the outside. That was the 78 of Coburn. Got all sorts of sideways heading down into turn 1. He had to really put on a heck of a save. Had a handful of wheel heading down into the turn. Nonetheless, though, he keeps it straight. We stay green. Down the back straightaway. Wetzel all over the place. And there goes Coburn crashing into the inside wall. He got the 16 of Steve Ritter with him. Hard impact into the inside concrete. No caution as of yet. We continue to stay green, and Ritter's going to try and spin it out, maybe get a caution. Not going to work for the 16, though, and wow. Coburn gets turned off the...
Is that what you said that was? That was, yeah. They were just gone. It was one truck sideways, boom, took the other one out, and then everyone else was like, okay, cool, see y'all.
Could have easily been a bigger crash, but thankfully Only 2 trucks. So not thankfully, but in that situation, thankfully, only 2 trucks involved, and we stay green though nonetheless. Up front, they're racing like nothing has happened. Pack still swarming behind leader Sean Boundy and Bobby Wetzel. Boundy leading the inside line, Wetzel leading the outside line down into turn number 3 and 4. Here comes Wetzel with a head full of steam. He's trying to get the run off of turn 4, maybe take the lead for the first time tonight.
Wetzel rocking that old school Valvoline paint job. So you got it right that time. And looking good, making Mark Martin proud. I was a Mark Martin fan back in the day. Love to see it. It's good stuff. It looks like Wetzel he's got a little more momentum than Sean Boundy can handle coming off of 4. But as soon as they get back down into 1 and 2, that inside line takes over, and the outside line just can't keep up with the inside line. You're taking a little bit of that lap length off, and inside line makes it go through the corners, but then the outside line carrying a little more mile an hour out there tends to pull away in a straight line. But then we're going down into 3 right now, and we've got Sean Boundy pulling back ahead of that number 9 truck. It's going to stay that way unless they actually pull in line 2x2 thing or 2 side-by-side thing out of the way. Don't know whether we're going to see that happen or not. We have 2 lines, 2 snakes, and the potential for more danger.
Potential for more danger indeed as they continue to race side by side. Behind them, there's another crash going on. And turn number 1, 1 truck sideways. It's the 3 of John Amos Jr. He saves it. He got it sideways coming out of the tri-oval off the bumper of Jason Barham as those 2 were trying to work to get back together. And great save by the 3 of John Mushton Jr. Luckily didn't come back up in front of traffic, kept it rolling. We stayed green again. So I tell you what, there has been a lot of drama in these first handful of laps. We're only on lap 14 of 66 so far here tonight.
I predict we see him calm down here. They have to. It's either that or the whole field is in trouble. And as soon as I say that, things get crazy at about 6th place, 5th, 6th place. That number 3 truck, very, very lucky. He basically wrecked and didn't hit anything. That's what happened there. So back at the front, again, it's the outside line pulling away. And as soon as they hit the straightaway, as soon as they get back to the corner, Sean Boundy pulls back in front of Wetzel. And it's going to stay that way as long as they want to run side by side.
And now they're trying to go a little bit 3 wide. That's Kevin Brown with help from Joey Jatina up in that 3rd lane. E.J. O'Rourke almost made it 3 wide in the middle of the pack, which would have really set us up for an interesting show down the back straightaway. You see Nick Silver, he pulls to the inside line. Here comes Jimmy North to join the outside line. He's going to lead outside line. Maybe not. Wetzel goes a little bit higher, takes him 3 wide, and now 3 distinct lines racing into turn 1 at Talladega.
These guys are doing everything in their power to make a commentator's job very, very difficult. It's just, we can't tell who's where and what's going on. People are going from the bottom to the top, to the middle, back to the top, back down to the bottom. It's commentator's nightmare. Fun to watch, but very hard to keep up with.
Absolutely. Got a little bit of lap traffic ahead. Kevin Brown going to be a big mover in that mess, we'll call it, on the back straightaway. Glad to see he's learned a little bit of drafting skills from Daytona, so he's worked his way up into, he was 12th last time by. He'll be inside the top 10 this time by. Started 16th and up to 9th, so pretty good move for Kevin Brown. His lap traffic going to get out of the way up to the top side of the speedway, and now we have Jimmy North pushed by E.J. O'Rourke. Randy Yoakum in the mix up there on the top side as well. David Ibbig up on that high groove. Here comes Brown to join the top shelf as well. So top line trying to get some momentum going back down the back straightaway. And boy, Jimmy North and E.J. O'Rourke doing a little dance up front.
And we just saw something I haven't seen since I joined the broadcast team. Stock and Ryan, part of that traffic. I got behind the microphone was on the Sim500 leagues with the Sim Racing Network. That was a little bit odd to see, but they kept it up out on the wall and let the pack go by. They got by clean. That 48 truck, though, is getting the job done now on the out. 48 followed by the 41. Got Jimmy North leading the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke right behind him. They really want to take it all the way to the front, but again, that inside line, as soon as they get back to the corners, the inside line is still led by Sean Boundy, and he's in that 34 Interstate Batteries truck, and he is giving them hell, man. There's no doubt about it. That Tundra's running well down there on the bottom of the track.
That he is, and a lot of pushing going on, trying to get your respected line to move a little bit more than the one either on the outside or on the inside of you, and that's where the danger comes in. You see a lot of, oh, there's contact, and if they save it, I'll be surprised. 3 wide. O'Rourke going to try and take advantage of it as he'll take him 3 wide into turn 1. Randy Yoakum to follow, and O'Rourke down to the bottom side of the speedway, takes the lead, slams the door, picks his pocket, and now he's going to play the blocking game, and this is how crashes happen right here.
Is this lap 65? I'm just curious because it's showing lap 19, but I swear it's lap 65.
I don't think there's any rain in the forecast either, and these guys are racing quite hard for it to be lap 19, not even a third of the way.
John Boundy, rock solid, though. He's the only Tundra up here at the front of the field, and he is doing Toyota proud right now. He's got that thing on the bottom. Evidently, the rust has fallen off. He's getting the job done right now, leading the race. As long as he keeps it on the bottom, as long as his tires allow him to keep it on the bottom, it looks like he's pretty much in command of what's going on right now. Chad Cole sitting behind him on that inside line, right on his bumper, 0.067 seconds back, which is basically about the width of the chrome on the grill. It's about the width of that. I mean, there's literally nothing in between the tailgate of Sean Boundy and Chad Cole's front bumper.
Absolutely not. And a lot of problems that these guys are going to face tonight is the overheating issue, especially in the latter part of this race where everybody is pushing. Right now, you get a chance to kind of step out and breathe your truck a little bit, get some air into the front end of that machine. But later in the race, these things really start to get warm. They start to overheat, and then that's when you see motors begin to expire. And if that were to happen in this lead pack at any point in the race, that would be catastrophic.
They are definitely bunched up. I mean, we have all the way back to 21st place. First to 21st is only separated by 1.
Oh! Close call there is Yoakum. Yeah, Yoakum hooked the bumper of the 41, almost turned him into the inside row. Man, if I'm these guys up here, I am wanting to maybe fall back to the back of the pack or at least tell my spotter to say, hey, tell what's his name behind me to lay off for a couple laps. We're still early in this race. Right now, we're completing or beginning the 1/3 mark of this race. 22 of 66. Still 2/3 of the race left here at Talladega Super Speedway. Here comes the outside line again. Got help from Jimmy North this time. Kevin Brown trying to lead that march. And boy, look at the momentum. Sideways goes Wetzel in the middle of 1 and 2. He had to get out of the throttle. Randy Yoakum steps up to bunch right up in front of Brown. And now that third line looks to be the more dominant of the two outside.
Yeah, there's a distinct third line forming. We have 3 trucks in that third line all the way out on the outside wall right now. From about 4th place, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, they're 3 wide back there. The 1st and 2nd place trucks are kind of out there on their own. I say that, and as soon as I say that, things change. And that 41 truck of E.J. O'Rourke there in the middle starts to hunt down that inside line. Again, they're on the straightaway. They tend to run a little bit quicker down the straight because they're carrying a little more mile an hour through the corner than the inside line can. But the inside line is just enough shorter to where as soon as they exit those corners, they get it back, especially coming off of 4 to the checkered start-finish line. It's interesting to watch, and I can't believe that we are seeing trucks routinely, intentionally jump out of that outside line all the way out to a third line out by the wall now. We're 23 laps in, and we're seeing some guys try stuff that I wouldn't think they would try this early in the race, but hey, this has been crazy from the start, so let's not change things now.
Absolutely, and a lot of these guys just trying to figure out what their trucks are going to do up in that top line. And albeit, if you can make the move up in the third line and pick up one position or two and kind of snake your way to the front, I'm all for it. Do what you have to do. Makes it exciting for us broadcasters. Meanwhile, though, that middle line, second groove outside, they deal with a little bit of lap traffic, but they've got some steam headed to the back straightaway. Brown pushing E.J. O'Rourke, trying to push him to the lead. The 41, can he clear the 34 for the top spot, heading down into 3 and 4? Not quite going to clear him, as Boundy going to fight back on the inside. Whoa, Keaton.
For just a second, E.J. O'Rourke could have pulled down in front of Sean Boundy if he wanted to, but I think that would have killed momentum from both of those trucks. He did the right thing, stayed in that outside line, and is letting – there it is. Did the right thing, let Kevin Brown push him back out in front of him on the front stretch, and now we have that 41 truck of E.J. O'Rourke leading the race. He can hold it down on the bottom of the track. I think we'll see him do what Sean Boundy's been doing, which is basically dominating this race with a whopping 0.04-ish second lead. But he has led a bunch of laps because
not
he's
for
held it
long.
down there on the bottom.
Bam, slammed the door in his face. Brown says, I push you to the lead, you ditch me, so I'm going to pull down in front of you. Now I'm going to make you push me around the bottom, and hopefully I'll lead a couple laps here. Not if E.J. O'Rourke has anything to say about it. He's already looking to peek back up to the outside line. Great racing up here at the front. We work lap 25. O'Rourke still trying to make the move to the outside. When does he pull up? Now he does. Jimmy North says, no, not right now. Heading down into turn 1 and 2. Things really getting bunched up at the front of the field.
It's interesting to see that outside line finally carrying enough momentum, bringing that momentum into the corner to actually be able to pull down in front of the inside line now. The first, 20 laps or so, we didn't see that at all. And now all of a sudden it's like they're getting enough wear on the tires where they're having to pinch that truck down a lot harder to hold that bottom line, scrubbing a little more speed, letting that outside line stay a little freer, not hurting the tires quite as much is probably what's happening. And that's why we're seeing the outside line being able to pull up, take that lead, take that momentum away from that inside line again.
Boy, O'Rourke really sort of messed the momentum up there on an outside line. Jimmy North, I don't know if that was a good move for the 48. He must have thought everybody was going to go with him. They did not. They decided to stay behind O'Rourke in the 41, and that has allowed Brown to hold the lead. Now O'Rourke leads the middle groove, and Jimmy North kind of falling into the sucker hole. He's falling all the way back to the back of this pack up against the safer barrier.
Yeah, that was a painful move. I don't know why he jumped out to that top line, making it 3 wide like that, but I didn't see him bobble. Maybe there was a little bobble there that we didn't see, but he had to free the truck up to keep it from looping around on him. I'm not sure, but he lost more than 2 or 3 spots there. How far back did he fall?
Crashing, trouble behind, Jimmy North involved just after falling to the back. A lot of trucks scatter down pit road. Second caution of the night involves the 48 of Jimmy North and the 08. That'll be Thomas O'Leary. Hard into the wall. And Justin Fuller, one of the drivers who kind of fell back, hoping to avoid this. May have got a small piece of it as well. For the most part, though, a 3-truck incident in the middle of the pack. We definitely escaped the big one.
That is... just goes to show you how fast things can turn around. We had Jimmy North running up front, looking like he was going to challenge for the lead there at any second, and then all of a sudden he makes one wrong move, gets all the way out there to the wall. The bottom and the middle lines run by him, send him to the back of the pack, and next thing you know, he's involved in a 3-truck wreck. There's no. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. I think that's the song that should be playing right now.
Absolutely. Bad break for Jimmy North. By the way, he was scored 4th the prior lap heading into the lap where the crash occurred. Now he is scored 20th and on pit road. Everybody else going to be headed down pit road as well, looking for fuel, possibly some right side tires as well. And while they do that, perfect time for us to step away, take a quick commercial break. Don't worry, though, you won't miss anything on our corner-to-corner coverage. We're going to keep on trucking from Talladega.
right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium? Check. Formaldehyde? Check. Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
I don't know why I'd be
What was
lagging.
I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
I like
Tobacco
chicken.
is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium? Check. Formaldehyde? Check. Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway, race number 5 at WCIParts.com. Truck Series leader Kevin Brown. Trying to dial him up on the radio. Kevin, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right, here we go. Started 16th. You've made your way to the front in about a third of the race, so a little bit better drafting than we saw at Daytona out of the 93 machine. How you feel about the rest of this race?
I'm feeling pretty good. We got Chad right behind me, teammate. So hopefully me and him will work together. We stay up here the rest of the race.
There you go. We look forward to hopefully talking to you and the big cat on the podium after this thing's all said and over with.
All right, thanks, guys.
Here you have it. Kevin Brown setting the pace here at Talladega Super Speedway. Boy,
I wonder
always
if Kevin Brown and Chad Cole like chicken as much as I do. If anybody during that last break heard me say I like chicken, I like chicken. I really do. I apologize.
A lot of chicken. I was just trying to come up with a. I was trying to come up with a response to that. I was going to say a lot of people in Alabama like chicken. So
chicken's good, man. There's nothing wrong with it.
Chicken is.
We need to have actually that. I'll make that commercial for next week.
All right, so here we go, getting set to, well, throw the rag back out for these bunch of chickens at Talladega Super Speedway. It's Kevin Brown and Sean Boundy. By the way, if anybody gets offended by that, I don't actually think you're a chicken. Nonetheless, though.
I thought you were going to say, I don't actually care. But there are definitely no chickens in this field. These guys have been racing like it was lap 65 since the green flag fell the first time. And we have Sean Boundy on the outside this time for this restart, which is very uncharacteristic. We've seen Sean in that 34 green Tundra down low on every restart up until now, and he's been leading. But right now, Kevin Brown in that 93 NOS, or NOS, however you want to pronounce it, energy drinks, number 93 Silverado, has got that inside line. If he and Chad Cole, if he and Chad Cole can stay to the bottom, they'll probably lead, which Sean Boundy just goes ahead and makes me a liar again. Sean right back down to the bottom of the track, knows that's where he needs to be in order to stay in command of this race. And I said it before, I'll say it again. He has a commanding lead of 0.029 seconds right now.
But now Wetzel, first time tonight for number 9, who'll this lap Talladega, setting us into the halfway point of this race. Now 32 down, working on 33 at the conclusion of this one, halfway in Alabama. And how about that number 40 machine, the third truck on the outside line? He was involved in an earlier caution. We almost rode him off. Well, look at him. He's now looking 3 wide and trying to challenge for the lead down the Alabama Gang super stretch.
That's impressive. That truck was pretty bent up. Was he involved in the first incident or the second incident? I can't remember. Whichever one it was, he wrinkled that thing up pretty good, and now all of a sudden he's all the way back up to 5th place. 5th place.
Yeah, still
I'm at
quite
a
a
loss
bit of
for
damage
words,
on the
and I'm a
right side of that
commentator. It's a bad
truck.
thing.
Yeah, still quite a bit of damage. You see the spoiler wrinkled up on the right side, and he is into 5th. A great run for Trey Edson with the damage on that machine. So he's looking to keep up the pattern of Comstock Edson, Comstock. Then the Talladega winner, fill in the blank there, and he's got a swarming 20 truck pack around him that wants to change that differently. They don't want him to win because they think they can do it themselves. Boundy on the inside, Wetzel on the outside. Those two up front are the two challenging for the lead now. E.J. O'Rourke's in the battle. Kevin Brown on the inside there, Chad Cole, Trey Edson. That's the first 3 in each lane. And then you have Joey Jatina, Glenn Campbell, Michael Keaton, and Matthew Welsenbach, who was turned around sideways on lap number 1. He's back in the top 10.
Good to see these guys stay in this thing, keep digging, and make their way back up to the front. And right now, Bobby Wetzel making that high line actually work around here. I guess, do we call that the high line or the middle? The high line's out there by the wall. I guess we've got a middle line, a low line, and the high line's out there by the wall. And we saw during the last green flag run, we saw some folks start to run up there by the wall. We saw 3 trucks at one time in a line out there, all the way up there by the wall, kind of making it work. I say that, and Sean Boundy actually just pulls Kevin Brown right on up past Bobby Wetzel. Looks like Chad Cole's following him up there. We've got Kevin Brown is up in front of Wetzel now. Things are getting crazy.
Oh, and now O'Rourke splits Wetzel, hangs him out to dry. Brown trying to throw the block on O'Rourke. Which way does the 93 go? Does he go to the bottom? Does he stay to the outside? To the bottom he goes. O'Rourke with him, and here comes Trey Edson to lead that outside line, whatever you want to call it. I call it the outside line when there's only 2 lines, the middle line when there are 3 rows. And here comes Boundy up to the top side with E.J. O'Rourke. Now they're trying to work back around the outside of the 93. They'll do that down into turn number 3 and 4. Inside line, big check up there. O'Rourke drops to the bottom, leaves Boundy out to dry. Now Boundy with help from Trey Edson to the rear tailgate. And off turn 4, O'Rourke and Boundy will go side by side for the lead through the tri-oval.
If Talladega doesn't use this tagline, and all of the broadcasters out there for the real race at Talladega this weekend, if they don't use Welcome to Talladega, where every lap is the last lap, if they don't use that, they're missing out. This is crazy.
Crazy indeed. And how long can they last racing like this? It's been fairly clean for the most part, and haven't seen a lot of very aggressive blocks or any aggressive moves, but as this race goes on, you can guarantee that will change, as we are now closing in 29 laps to go this time by at the flag stand. So we are running out of laps as quick as we're ticking them off. Kind of just works that way. Nonetheless, though, E.J. O'Rourke leads. He's got a little bit of a gap back to Sean Boundy in that outside line, but here they come on the straightaway where that outside line gets the momentum from the middle lane and kind of pulls dead back up. Even Joey Jatina doing a little dance down on the apron through the tri-oval there. That tri-oval, Sean, really likes to sort of reach out and grab you sometimes, especially in these trucks. These things are so planted to the ground, you almost seem invincible, but then you touch that tri-oval apron, and then you're like, uh-oh, I gotta put a little wheel into this thing now.
Yeah, it just, as soon as you put a left side tire down there on that tri-oval, it just wants up the track, and it's very, very hard to hang on to it. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I remember the Ben Kilcrease wisdom that we just got there. It was trying to remember the exact quote. I'll be back with it in just a second, but it was some of the most profound words that I've ever heard on the air.
I said a lot of stuff in the past minute or so, so I'm
Yeah,
interested to see which one you're picking out.
I think it blew my mind to the point where I've forgotten it already.
I think it was something about we're ticking off laps as quick as we're putting them down.
That is exactly what it was, yes. Ben Kilcrease, basically what he has pointed out is the longer we race, the less laps we have to go.
It's weird how things work. It's weird how Kevin Brown almost turned himself across the nose of Sean Boundy. Boundy almost made it 3 wide back down into turn 3. Boy, some great racing here at Talladega. It's almost leaving us speechless how exciting this race is. Brown up on the top side now with help from Boundy. That leaves his teammate on the inside to push E.J. O'Rourke. So if you're Chad Cole, do you kind of let off of the 41 and maybe let the 93 get down in front of him, or how do you play this? Any team orders in effect with 26 laps to go?
I don't know how. There's no safe place to be right now. It's a super speedway race, right? It's a plate race, so the big one could happen anywhere. You could be at the back of the pack, the middle of the pack, the front of the pack. It's just, there's no rhyme or reason. It's just Like you were saying earlier, a car gets a little low. They put a tire down below that yellow line. It shoots them up the track, and then chaos. So I'm hoping we don't see that. I apologize in advance that I said that out loud. But these guys have been racing since the very first green flag, like it was the last lap. I wasn't kidding when I said welcome to Talladega, where every lap is the last lap. These guys are going after it, man. It's just fun to watch.
That it is. Some great racing indeed, and to be honest, we haven't had the big one yet. We hope we don't. We've had a couple of small ones put us under a couple slowdowns so far here tonight, but a lot of our incidents have been so small or so far off the racetrack, Sean, that they didn't even trigger a yellow flag on the surface, which, that has saved us a couple of cautions and a handful of laps riding under yellow. But nonetheless, it has taken out a good 5-6 trucks without even bringing out a caution, without slowing the field down to allow them to get their damage fixed under said caution and have a shot at getting back into the mix. And boy, I've tickled the producer. Not gonna be a good thing. What in the world
just happened there, Aaron? You got to let us know what was so funny. That's when you got the producer on the mic just dying laughing. You got to know what's going on.
So he's got some company at home.
Our producer's dog evidently is doing weird things, and we get to hear him laughing about it and just wondering what we have done in order to induce the laughter. And then we find out that it wasn't us at all. It was just his dog. So that actually makes the broadcaster feel bad about themselves, Aaron. You got to pump us up a little bit, man.
I don't know if it's a good thing to be laughed at or a bad thing, because it's a good thing if you're trying to be funny, as we got a 3 wide now battle for the lead. That's pushed Kevin Brown up to the top side, so he'll fall to the sucker hole and all the way back to the back of the pack. He'll have to do all that hard work again. Close call down to 1 there, and we're going 3 by 3 by 3.
Yeah, Chad Cole's got that bottom line working right now. Chad's just been kind of sitting there in second, third, fourth place for a while now, and watching everything happen in front of him. And now all of a sudden he's got that diehard Silverado, that number 82 truck, running up front right now. E.J. O'Rourke is trying to basically take that away from him. Doesn't want him to have that lead, but I think Chad's going to lead a lap, maybe 2. If he can keep it down there on the bottom and we stay green, he has a good chance. Well, actually, we have another round of pit stops coming up before this thing's over, so we'll see what happens. I did notice something towards the back of the pack there. There's some puffs of smoke. Don't know whether someone got into a wall or a couple trucks got together. Not sure what that was. That was lag. Gotcha.
So one truck having some internet issues, causing some smoke and some phantom damage, but nonetheless, Kevin Brown holding his own up on that top side, making the third groove work about as good as you can at this point in the race, working on lap 44 of a 66, 2/3 now complete at the flag stand. We'll have 1/3 remaining in this one here at Talladega Superspeedway. You mentioned pit stops, and I'm not sure if we will have another pit stop or not. I think these guys may be good on fuel till the end. Don't quote me on that or hold me to it, but I've got a feeling that we may have seen our last pit stop under the last caution.
They can make it to the end. This is going to get really interesting. We got 21 laps left in this race. E.J. O'Rourke making that high line right now work. He's got about half a truck in front of Chad Cole, and then all of a sudden, right there in the middle of the corner, Chad Cole takes that bottom line, goes right by EJ, and makes him pay for running up high there. But I can't help but think that all of those trucks on the bottom, even though this is a 2.5 mile plus track, all those trucks on the bottom are paying a little bit of a penalty for holding it down there. Whereas those trucks on the high line are taking it a little bit easier on the tires and may have a little bit left at the end that the inside line doesn't have. So things are going to get interesting. 21 laps left. Actually, 20 laps left now.
So it's coming to the final 20 laps. I like to call that crunch time. And before we get into crunch time officially at the end of this lap, let's take a quick commercial break. You won't miss anything. We'll go corner to corner, and we'll keep on trucking from Dega.
And don't forget, I like chicken.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to the WCIParts.com Truck Series. Joey Jatina leads at Talladega, the Alabama native, leading on the Alabama gang now super stretch as they work to the back straightaway. He's got a tough challenge, though, from E.J. O'Rourke to the outside in that 41. 4-1 versus 1-4. Outside versus inside. Who's going to have the lead as they work their way to 3?
Sean Boundy running there in 4th place. Chad Cole right behind Joey. There are some fast trucks running up at the front here. Joey he lives right down the road from down here in Alabama, and definitely knows this track really, really well. Got it up to the front, put it on the bottom. He's in the right place if he wants to stay there. We'll have to see what happens. I was talking to some folks in the chat during that break, and Mark Creighton was saying that the fuel window on these trucks at Dega is about 26 to 27 laps. So a lot of these guys are either close to or can make it to the end. We've got 16 laps left to go in this race, and we don't see any signs of it letting up anytime soon. E.J. O'Rourke on the outside of Joey Jatina puts that truck up in front of Joey on the outside. Joey's going to drive it down into the corner, though, and go right back on by on the bottom.
If that's the case, we last pitted at around lap 30, so a lot of these drivers may be cutting it close. We'll see if that holds true as far as the pit strategy goes. Well, we should know in the next 5 or so laps. And if we've got to throw pit strategy into this thing to finish it off, hang on, buckle up, because it's going to be a wild one. 51, the lap we're working on now. The leader is either the 41 or the 14, depending on which scoring loop you score them at around the speedway. Right now it's Jatina, and right now it's back to O'Rourke, and then it's Jatina, and then it's O'Rourke. So they are swapping the lead a couple times every lap here at Talladega Super Speedway. Putting on a great show, though, for us up here in the booth. We've seen 3 wide so far tonight, and we've seen a plethora of great racing here at Alabama's Super Speedway. Edson sits 4th there on the inside line, and now here comes Chad Cole. He steps out on the boss man, Joey Jatina, trying to take the lead away from him as they race down into turn number 1. He'll have him cleared. Does he go back to the bottom, or does he stay to the top side with O'Rourke? He'll fall to the bottom. O'Rourke in suit, and that leaves Sean Boundy out on the outside line by himself with Glenn Campbell.
Things just got interesting, definitely. I was not expecting to see Chad Cole take it to the outside like that and make it work, but he pulled out a line and just it looked like he found another gear there for a second. And I would like to go ahead and point out that my colleague up here in the booth is using words like plethora now. I don't know whether that's my fault or what's going on here, but things have just gotten really, really geeky brainy up here in the booth.
We're going high class on the Sim Racing Network. Jatina has stepped back up to the top side of the racetrack, looking to get his lead back in exciting fashion. He's got a big push from Sean Boundy heading down into turn 1. Can he clear the 82? He does. And back to the lead goes Joey Jatina. So we're pretty much the same spot, except for E.J. O'Rourke has found himself mired third on that inside line versus leading the outside line. So maybe not a good move for him to go down to the bottom with Chad Cole after they took the lead.
It's hard to say at this point. We're seeing that high line actually work as long as those the truck it's in the front of the line and the truck right behind. If they decide that they want to push that front truck up in front of the bottom line, they seem to be able to do that almost at will right now.
Here we go, pit stops.
We have people pulling off for pit stops. Things just got even more crazy.
So the 41 got to the inside for a specific reason, and that was to head down to pit road. So there you have it. Pit stops in crunch time here at Talladega. 12 laps to go this time by, and these guys have got to stop for fuel. How exciting is this going to be? We still got a pretty big pack out front here, and all these guys are going to have to make it down to pit road over the next couple laps if they want to make it to the end of this thing under power. So here they go down into turn number 3 and 4. We'll see who decides to head to pit road this time. Off of turn 4 into the front straightaway. Any takers? A couple out of the back of the pack. Head down pit road, and boy, Sean, it's real hard to go from 190 mile an hour down to 55.
That is using the brakes in a way that you just don't use them here. It really does throw you for a loop the first couple times you have to do it under green flag conditions. I am really kind of at a loss. I thought we'd see more of the top running cars.
Oh, they're crashing.
They're crashing. They couldn't hold it. That's Kevin Brown into the wall hard in that 93 truck. He just got caught up in that. And it looks like what truck? Who was the one that came down on Kevin there?
It was the 44 of Campbell.
And they're back out on the track.
Yeah, Campbell got a little help from Wetzel to get turned sideways there, and Brown was just, like you said, an innocent bystander. He was far enough off the racetrack, though. No caution is flown. We continue green here at Talladega. Oh, and now they're crashing on pit road. Sean Boundy pounds the outside wall. I'm sorry, that's Doug Sigmund in the 06 with a sledgehammer hit to the outside wall. John Mushton also got a piece of it there. That all happened while everybody was heading down the pit road. The lead pack got a piece of it. Joey Jatina.
Everybody that was in that lead pack is pulled in the pits. Everybody's fueled up. I couldn't see if people were taking. I mean, everybody in their right mind is going to take 4 tires. No one's going to take 2 tires right now. And then coming back out onto the track, we had 2 trucks get together. One of them got sent up into the outside wall. Couldn't really see who that was. It was a little further back in the field than where I'm looking right now, but I saw it just enough to see a black truck shoot all the way up to the outside wall. Trucks getting together, coming off pit road, coming on the pit road. The 06 Pro System truck. Who's driving that 06 truck tonight? Doug Sigmund. Definitely got caught up going into the pits, and then we had another incident coming off the pits. We've got 10 laps to go. Things are nuts.
Another incident heading into pits, and now maybe an incident in turn 3 as the leaders come together. Contact with Sean Boundy in the middle of things off turn 4. E.J. O'Rourke had a little piece of issue there as well. Looks like O'Rourke's going to have the lead when everything cycles around. A big moment on pit road for the championship standings. Chad Cole. And there was a truck stopped in the middle of the road, and they're crashing. Sean Boundy has spun out. No caution. here
I
at
don't think
Talladega. What the hell was that?
Either of those trucks got into the wall, but I don't know what that truck was doing sitting there. It should not have been there. It is chaos. We've got an orange truck up against the wall, and it's stuck on the wall.
Yeah, that started with David Emick spun the tires in front of the lead pack, went up the track, and my goodness.
Yeah, Dave Coburn there for just a second. That 78 amp energy truck, orange number 78 Silverado, was out on the outside wall, and it looked like he was just stuck to the wall. Couldn't get it off the wall to save his life. Now he's back down on the bottom and back up to speed. Things have gone crazy.
Wow. I don't know what to say anymore. Remember that guy who dropped all the way back to the tail end of the lead pack? Haven't mentioned him the whole race. Justin Fuller. Oh, he's inside the top 3, sitting on a podium position, and has a chance to win the race as he battles for the lead in turn 3.
This doesn't even make sense anymore. 8 laps to go. Justin Fuller is gone from the front to the back to the front. Try saying that 10 times fast. I don't think I could do it. Chad Coleman back in 5th now. He led for a while. Sean Boundy was, I thought, really was the favorite to win this thing. After he dusted that rust off after about the first 10 laps, got it down on the low line, and just proceeded to stay there. And every time they were going across the start-finish line, he was leading the lap. But he just got caught up in something. Now we've got E.J. O'Rourke running up front, Trey Edson running right behind him, and Justin Fuller running right behind Trey Edson. This is absolutely ridiculous in the best way possible.
And one driver we haven't even mentioned this whole race was Chad Coleman. Hasn't been a factor at all, and now he sits inside the top 5.
Have we mentioned Nick Silver this whole race?
I think once.
It just doesn't make sense at all. But this is Talladega. This is plate racing. This is how this stuff works, man. And this is a reason why we see drivers that have never won a race in any cup level event. They come to Daytona, they come to Talladega, and all of a sudden they're in victory lane. And we're like, how did they get here? Well, this is how they get there. It's chaos from the time the race starts till the time the race ends. And that's what we're getting tonight here at Sim500.
6.5 laps to go, and Nick Silver has taken the lead for the first time tonight here at Talladega Super Speedway. How about that for some excitement going into 3? Justin Fuller almost went around, and somehow they have saved it again. There has been at least a dozen crashes that hasn't caused a caution tonight, and that was a prime example of one right there.
This is insane. Nick Silver just decided, hey, I want to be on the bottom, therefore I shall be there. And there's nothing you can do about it. And Justin Fuller luckily gathered that up. He went out to the outside with E.J. O'Rourke, and it looked like E.J. was going to push him up in front of Nick Silver, but didn't quite stick. We have 4 cars up top, 3 cars on the bottom, and I believe was that Comstock all the way below the yellow line there that they just went by. The front pack is now 7 cars or 7 trucks, and we don't really know where any of them are going to be at any given time. They're just wherever they want to be. We have 5 laps to go here at Talladega.
5 laps to go this time by at the flag stand, and boy, the way they're racing, I'll be surprised if we make it to the checkered. Unbelievable race so far. There is storyline after storyline after storyline. I mean, if we put all the storylines in one book, we'd have 150 chapters by the time this thing was all said and done with. That's how crazy this race has been. Keaton still in the mix. Bobby Wetzel still in the mix there as well. He sits 7th. Like you said, these guys right here are the top 7 going to duke it out for a chance at victory in the WCIparts.com Truck Series at Talladega. Justin Fuller to the inside. O'Rourke going to stay top shelf, though, with Chad Coleman in the 20.
Chad Coleman coming out of nowhere as well. Chad just gave the top line a very big push from all the way to the back of that top line. That 20 truck looks hooked up, too. Never count him out. Michael Keaton in the number 7 truck sitting in 5th spot right now. He's up and down, back and forth, trying to figure out which line to go with. And then we have Bobby Wetzel in the number 9 truck. Right now he's being scored in 7th. Bobby Wetzel's been up front all night as well, but it's anybody's race. I'm looking at the 7 truck, Michael Keaton. He's can't figure out which line to go with. He's on the bottom, he's in the top, he's behind Chad Coleman, he's behind Nick Silver. It just, dang, there's 3 laps to go. I hope we can go green to the end. I truly hope we can go green to the end, and these guys keep doing what they're doing because they're doing it good. This is fun to watch, y'all.
Certainly is. Keaton's sort of just hopscotching his way around, hopping one truck, getting a position, and hopping another one, getting another position, trying everything he can here in the final laps, and it's almost got him up to 3rd with the lack of momentum that the top side has right now. And just as I say that, they pull back even with the 2nd place on the inside. 3 to go right there at the flag stand. Oh boy, it is shaping up to be one of those signature photo finishes here at Talladega Superspeedway. Prime the camera at the start-finish line. By the way, that start-finish line not in the center of the tri-oval. It's all the way almost in turn 1, which always provides an exciting finish here at the Superspeedway. O'Rourke now side by side with Fuller as they race down into turn number 1. Can he get the lead back from the 51 on the inside?
Last lap, Justin Fuller leading the pack. I saw him coming off of, I believe it was NASCAR 2. Justin Fuller was basically weaving that truck up and down, sort of covering the outside and the inside line going down the straight. And then he pulled down to the bottom to go through the corner. As soon as I say that, though, we have the outside line. Chad Coleman has just pushed E.J. O'Rourke back up to the front. And I did see right before this lap started, I saw Bobby Wetzel in that number 9 Valvoline truck. He blinked a couple times. I hope that does not come into play here with 2 laps to go.
We'll keep an eye on his internet connection. Look at O'Rourke blocking Coleman up the racetrack. And he leaves a lane open for Justin Fuller. Maybe a bad move there for O'Rourke. That may have lost him the race as we head down off turn number 4 and through the tri-oval. The field gets the white flag. 2.66 miles remain here at Talladega Superspeedway. White flag in the air. 1 to go.
This is absolutely amazing. E.J. O'Rourke back to the front. Justin Fuller hugging the bottom. He's got Nick Silver right behind him. EJ and Chad Coleman are hooked up. EJ in the front. Chad Coleman has that bumper basically hooked into EJ O'Rourke's tow bar, and they're trying to make that top line work. We have that number 7 truck, Michael Keaton. He's gone all the way out to the wall. It looks like
Silver blew up. Silver blew up in the 15. And now here comes Justin Fuller trying to pinch O'Rourke into the lap traffic. Off of turn number 4. Down to the inside goes Fuller. O'Rourke trying to play the blocking game. Can he do it here at Talladega? Final time through the tri-oval. Race number 5, give it to O'Rourke at the flag stand.
Oh my God, that was insane. That was absolutely insane. Chad Coleman giving AJ O'Rourke a little love tap there after they crossed the start-finish line. Michael Keaton, he was just making up lines for the last half of that final lap. He was all over the track. So much fun to watch. Cannot believe Silver blew up there right at the end. Don't know whether he's going to be able to coast it across the line or not, but he's already fallen back to 12th. Has he crossed the line? I hope he's crossed the line.
Looks like he has. So Silver will finish 12th in this one. But how about E.J. O'Rourke picking up the victory here at Talladega Superspeedway? Chad Coleman comes home 2nd. Justin Fuller 3rd. Bobby Wetzel 4th. And by the way, top 4 separated by 97 1/1000ths of a second. What a show here at Talladega Superspeedway. O'Rourke putting the WCIparts.com truck in victory lane for the WCIparts.com truck series here in Alabama. What a show. We'll chat with the winner and the rest of the podium right after this. We'll be on corner to corner to watch O'Rourke's celebration. Don't go anywhere. We're going to keep on trucking from Talladega.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks. fully dynamic, real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium? Check. Formaldehyde? Check. Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
Welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway. EJ O'Rourke, boy, I couldn't get Speedway out there. EJ O'Rourke victorious here in Alabama. A great Super Speedway race here and a spectacular finish. But first, before we talk to O'Rourke about that run, we'll talk to Justin Fuller, and our very own Sean Yoder has caught up with him on pit road.
What's going on, Justin? Welcome to Victory Lane, bringing it home in third after an 8th place qualifier. Gotta ask you, when we saw you pull out of line and fall to the back there towards the start of that race, we were like, okay, the big one can happen anywhere at any of these plate races. Wasn't really sure whether that was going to pay off or not, but kind of came out of nowhere there at the end of that run, man. I guess it was planned all along, but kind of talk us through how in the world you made that happen. It was a heck of a run for you tonight, man.
So I qualified fairly decent, top 10. I think I qualified 8th. I didn't want it to pull, so I make sure I don't hit the first pit stall is such a disadvantage here. So got a decent qualifying, so we're not towards the front, we're not too far back. Pitted, start the race. I'm as soon as I start seeing trucks all over the place, I'm like, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting to the back of the front back. I'm just gonna ride, and that's what I did. Stuck to that plan. I was hopeful that we would have green flag pit stops more often. I felt like that's where our strengths were coming to. You saw EJ, me, Chad, and Trey all working together there, and I think it kind of showed that we pitted together, and we had a pretty good handle on that. But yeah, that was all planned out.
Yeah, it worked out well for you. I mean, it as soon as you pulled out, Ben basically was like, okay, he's just falling to the back. He's going to let things happen how they happen, and we'll see him at the end. And all of a sudden, boom, there you were, and it worked out well. I want to ask you, it was pretty amazing to us in the booth that we saw a bottom and a low line and a high line for the whole race. And did you prefer the top or the bottom? And whichever one of those lines you preferred, tell us why. Because we were trying to figure out like where the best place to be was, and it really never looked like there was a better place. But from inside the truck, maybe you have a little bit different perspective on that. So where did you like the truck to be, and why did you like it?
I mean, I only ran out the front for so long. I didn't really race in the pack. I kind of just started towards the back. But common what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but usually you don't want to be on the bottom. You're stuck on the bottom. You can't go anywhere. So if you're on the top or the middle, for this instance, you have options to go high, go low. So you're not stuck in that line. When you're on the bottom, hugging the yellow line, you're basically stuck there, and you can be benched there, and you could get shuffled all the way to the back just running the bottom. So me personally, I like running the middle of the top. Normally, I don't really give it up. At the end of the race there, I was running the bottom, but EJ and I were working together. We were trying to put ourselves in the best position possible as a team to get us the best finishes possible.
I think you had a heck of a run, man. Like I said, qualifying 8th, finishing 3rd, going all the way to the back there at the start, bringing it all the way back up to the front. It was a lot of fun to watch you run through the pack. If there's anyone you'd like to thank, now's the time to thank them, and then we will move on to Chad Coleman. So, who would you like to thank tonight for this 3rd place run, sir?
Yeah, I want to thank Sim500.com, all the admins, and all the work that they're doing for this league. I want to thank WCIparts.com for sponsoring the series. If it wasn't for them, this series may not be happening. So therefore, they get a huge shout out there. I want to thank my sponsor, SimSpeedShop.com. If you're looking for button boxes and any kind of little gadgets and widgets, make sure you check them out. Tell them I sent you. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Thank all the fans for watching the broadcast tonight. Thank everybody in the race. There were some darts out there without feathers, but surprisingly enough, there wasn't a huge wreck. So we'll take it and we'll move on to Dover next week.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you for joining us in the booth here, Justin, and congratulations on 3rd place finish tonight. We're going to move now up to the 2nd place finisher, Chad Coleman, qualifying 12th, bringing it home in 2nd place with that number 20 truck. Chad, you came out of nowhere, man. I'm just going to turn it over to you and talk us through how you ended up there at the front at the end, and also describe what those last 2 or 3 laps were like, because you were at the bottom, you were at the top, you were in the middle, you were below the line, below the yellow line, above it. People were everywhere. It was chaos. There were 7 trucks up there at the front at the end for those last couple laps, and it looked like it was absolutely terrifying. So, talk us through that finish, and congrats on that 2nd place, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah, to begin the race, it was like you said, there were people all over the place. I was telling EJ when we was down there talking, I said it's like a wind chime and a tornado. You just watch the lines go back and forth, and everybody's all over the place. So we just sat back there in line and just went nowhere. Just sat there in the road, me and Fuller did. Pretty much the whole hell until we pitted. We just rode around the whole race basically, going nowhere because we didn't want to be involved in something that wasn't going to benefit us in the long run, and waiting on green flag stops. And luckily we got one. And we got a group of us. We got together and pitted, and that's pretty much what the end looked like. There were, besides Nick Silver, I don't know what happened to Nick on the last lap. I don't know if he ran hot, blew up, ran out of gas.
I think he blew up.
Okay. But yeah, I didn't know. I wasn't sure what happened with him. But at the end right there, I really didn't have nothing else I could do. I knew I had to pick somebody to go with, so I pushed EJ. And so, I mean, at least it worked. He won. I ran second.
It definitely worked. I mean, you gave him one heck of a push. Like I said, a lot of fun to watch you come from the back with Justin and run up through there. And we hadn't really talked about you all night. And then all of a sudden, they're about 5 or 6 laps from the end. There you guys were. And you were up there. Michael Keaton was up there. Nick got it up there. Nick, unfortunately, just his truck just didn't make it to the end. But it was a heck of a lot of fun to watch y'all run tonight, man. Congratulations, taking it from 12th to 2nd place. I know you've got some folks you want to thank for tonight, so go ahead and thank those guys. And after that, we will move on to EJ O'Rourke and Ben Kilcrease for that winner's interview.
Yeah, I just got to thank, of course, JD Laird with JDR Graphics. He's going through some family stuff right now, so he hasn't been able to race much here in the last probably 2 weeks now. So hopefully all that stuff with them is getting straightened out, and that'll get going better. And thanks for the guys that put this deal on with Joey and everybody at Sim500, and thanks for you guys for the broadcast.
We enjoyed doing it. Y'all put on a heck of a show tonight. It was a lot of fun to watch. You kept Ben and I in the booth trying to commentate on this thing on our toes all night long. And Aaron just made a comment, our producer, Aaron Grosskopf, he made a comment. He's like, I don't know what to do with the camera. When the last couple laps there, things just got crazy, and we didn't know what to focus on. But it was a lot of fun watching you guys come from the back. Justin Fuller bringing it home in 3rd, Chad Coleman in 2nd. I'm going to turn it over now to my colleague Ben Kilcrease down in Victory Circle. He has EJ O'Rourke for that winner's interview. Ben, take it away, sir.
Thank you very much. Before we get to E.J. O'Rourke, how about the comment Fuller made? A couple darts without feathers.
That was one of the better comments that I've heard in a long, long time. I'm going to steal that.
I like that. I guess you'd call it an analogy. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, we'll see if this guy can top that. E.J. O'Rourke victorious here at Talladega. How's it feel to be back in victory lane, bud?
I mean, I haven't heard the words of my name and victorious without the word "not" in between in a long time.
Well, you did it tonight. You put on a heck of a show. You worked the top, you worked the bottom. A little bit of blocking in there, all clean and good fun, though. Talk us through the race. Talk us through, those couple of cautions we went through, and then the green flag pit stops to kind of set us up for the run to the finish.
I tell you what, Ben, there comes a point in your career where you sit back and just think, can you even get the job done anymore? And it, crossed my mind a couple times. I thought hanging up the helmet might, suit well and put a younger kid in this truck. But, those cautions were crazy. The race was crazy. Luckily, I had some friends behind me and some teammates. But, last lap, I expect any of them to leave me just like I'd do to them. So it worked out.
Certainly did, and I think we need to keep you around in the truck a little bit. I like seeing you around if that helps out the K-City. What a race, though. You talk about your teammates behind you, and you talk about it's all man for himself on the last lap. Talk about that last lap and how you were able to. I mean, we had trucks. We had one blow up. We had lap traffic in the mix there. Walk us through that final lap and how you were able to guide that 41 all the way to victory lane.
Yeah, when we left pit road, Fuller and said, "All right, we're done. We're done playing this team nonsense. We're racing. I'm racing for it." So, pretty much opened the gate for that. And we're not gonna kill each other, but we might too. We've done it before, so you never know. But it worked out in the end, and we ran a clean race to the end.
It was certainly exciting. We congratulate you on your victory tonight. Good to see you back in victory lane. Who do you want to thank for putting you here at Talladega?
First and foremost, I got to thank WCI Parts for putting together a great Chevy Silverado. I appreciate them jumping on board. It's pretty cool because I won the WCI Parts Truck Series Championship when they had it here. So it's cool to have the champion with the sponsor on board. Southern Freight Services, Gary Mercer Trucking, Papa's Hardware, everyone at Sim500 for putting this on, including you guys for the broadcast. It's great to, I haven't watched any in a while because it's not fun when see your name on the ticker on the 21st. So I'll have to go back and watch this one.
We'll have fun watching this one tonight. I think we did a great job. You guys helped out with a great show as well. We congratulate you on your win and look forward to seeing you next week at Dover.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. I look forward to it too.
There you have it. E.J. O'Rourke victorious here at Talladega, and my oh my, what a show here tonight, Sean. We saw a heck of a race. It was bumpy at times, not gonna lie. And there was a lot of drama, but when it came down to the final 5 or so laps, these guys just put it to the floor and put on one heck of a show.
All we did was talk about it, and I'm tired. I can't even believe that was a verbal. Actually, in the chat, I'm hanging out in the chat a little bit and hanging out with the folks that are watching the race live. And if you're still watching, thank you. If you were watching earlier, thank you very much. We appreciate y'all following along. That's always awesome. My last comment in there was that was a verbal workout in the booth tonight. It was crazy trying to follow this thing. The green flag dropped, and from the very start of the race, it was truly like they were trying to run it like every lap was the last lap. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate the opportunity to broadcast with the sim race. Having a lot of fun.
We enjoy having you, Sean, and apologize for the little connection issues there with his microphone. We'll get that fixed and set to go racing right back here on the Sim Racing Network tomorrow night, where the gang heads down to Pensacola, just a short drive from Talladega here to the Five Flag Speedway, where the Sarah Dreamer Racing Super Series will come to you live at 10 p.m. Eastern. Join John Mushton and Sean Yoder on his first call with the super late models here on the Sim Racing Network. So I hope you're looking forward to that, Sean. The Sarah guys always put on a great show, and I'm looking forward to tuning in while I'm on the road, listening to you and John on the call for that one.
Yeah, man. Five Flags and late models. Can't go wrong there. Looking forward to it.
So there you have it. That'll do it for us tonight, though. For Aaron Grosskopf and Sean Yoder, I am Ben Kilcrease. Congrats to E.J. O'Rourke and the rest of the podium finishers here. Thanks to WCIParts.com and Sim500 for all they do behind the scenes. Remember to get social with us here on the Sim Racing Network. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at the SRN_. Good night from Talladega. Remember, when you're out there on the road, to put that phone down.